beaucoup, Marcella, et merci
Thank you so
surtout.
much, Marcella, and thank you so much by your last submission, which is very important. That says that for a country to sustain its democracy or to thrive, it will surely hinge on the civil society space. This is very important. Now I'll give the floor to John, also 10 minutes to give his submission because you are representing a network of women leaders. And just as Marcella rightly said, that indeed what is happening in the civic space, especially for women, linking that to what you do, I think certainly women must take their rightful role in the civic space. Thank you so much, Sache. I'm John Benyano. I am with the Réseau des Femmes Leaders pour le Développement based in Benin.
Most
On
members of the will take part to the African Commission session in Banjul. And during the session, RFLD and WADEMOS engaged special rapporteurs on human rights defenders and also some key special rapporteurs working on information. And talking about the thematic of civic space, misinformation and disinformation, I think it is at a crucial time because in April 2025, again with WADEMOS, RFLD will be organizing different side events with special rapporteurs of the African Union in Banjul. And when you take the statistic from Afrobarometer report, you will see that in 2024, 13 African countries experienced internet shutdown. And this is up from 9 in 2020. And as digital threats evolve, CSOs and women human rights defenders and also human rights defenders face increasingly risk of cyber attacks, online surveillance, and digital censorship. And on a continental level, when you take what is happening, 77% of the continent's population experiencing deterioration in democratic participation, right, and rule of the law. And we have also seen, WADEMOS launched a report in Banjul last year, in November, and you could see from the West Africa perspective that authoritarian regimes have maintained their hold on power by exploiting legal loopholes, weakening opposition parties, and manipulating electoral processes. And what is very alarming is that the resurgence of coup d'etat and regime changes. When you take Africa, for the past 5 years, we have gone through different coups, and a lot of this has happened in our region, West Africa, and from Francophone region where I come from. And what is en français, we say entre guillemets. In fact,
Between brackets.
Yeah, in bracket. Thank you, President. In fact, public dissatisfaction is growing as fewer people believe that their countries are truly democratic. And you could see that just 1 in 3 Africans, down 5 points from years prior, according to 2023 Afrobarometer report, despite remaining committed to the idea of democracy. And this disconnect between governance trends and public aspirations highlights an urgent need for reforms to prevent further democratic erosion and restore confidence in political institutions. And when you take human rights groups that we represent and CSOs, you will also see that they have been facing increasing risk from malign fuels societal division. And you will see that these tactics, often state-driven or politically motivated, are designed to disrupt advocacy efforts, weakening civic engagement, and endanger the safety of human rights defenders. And you could also see that given that 27% of African youth cite social media as their primary source of information, ensuring malign information and disinformation does not harm or distort their civic engagement is more paramount than ever. When you take the Civicus monitor, you will see that out of 43 out of 50 countries have been having obstructed, repressed, or closed civic spaces in 2024, affecting nearly 70% of the population. And you will also see that attacks on media freedom pose a significant threat to civil society. One of the examples I will give, we now have a new U.S. administration, and you will see some of their officials threatening and characterizing NGOs like terrorist organization. We have seen that on Twitter, where Elon Musk has said, for example, that USAID and some organization working in different countries are terrorist organizations. They fear of that in different fragile democracies. When you take, especially the Francophone region, is that I'm fearing this, but time will come and we could see some states targeting specific organizations like terrorist organizations because they are going, they are not following their agenda. The strategy used today. What is the opportunity that I'm seeing today when you talk about disinformation, misinformation, the shrinking of civic space? The first opportunity, because Wademos is going now in its next phase, in its coming year, probably next year, there will be a new phase of Wademos project. I believe that in its next phase, Wademos must implement monitoring system to track malign information trends and develop pre-bunking strategies to counter manipulative narratives by working with a broad coalition of actors, including digital rights groups, grassroots movement. We believe that it will bring a secure, open, and pluralistic information space, reinforcing democratic norms and civic engagement to ensure an open civic space and strong civil society. The second one is to reinforce and ensure that CSOs, women human rights defenders, youth defenders, creatives, and content creators have the resources and protection needed to engage in democratic discourse and advocacy safely. And as the trend is changing every time, I believe that some organizations are already doing it, but with the shutdown of the U.S. aid, I think cards have been realigned, and I believe that Wademos also in its next phase could think about a hub group for maybe journalists, bloggers under arrestation to be reallocated in different countries where they will be safe. And talking about the youth component, I will say that Wademos in its next phase also must think of bringing together young content creators, activists, and advocacy group to develop creative campaign that counter malign information. And these labs will focus on producing engaging multimedia content that highlight the impact of misinformation on marginalized communities and promote inclusive dialogue around civic engagement. And to finish, we need to keep the nexus between the regional level and the national level. Today we have different African Union mechanism. RFLD, our organization, we are a member of the working group of the human rights defenders, which is represented by the chairperson of the African Commission. We believe that we need to hold these mechanisms to see how we could leverage and help the different organizations working at the national level. I see also my elder, Mr. Sadiq Nias, who is also a member of the NGOs Forum that engage with the African Commission. I think we need to harness this instrument and take advantage of it. Thank you very much.
Merci, merci Jean pour cette